from 1963 till 1966, Beatles gave approximately 550 till 600 concerts all around the world. So White might be thinking, there's so many live concerts, so many live recordings, so many live albums. Just like all the other bands like Queen, Pink Floyd, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, each have at least 10, 12, 15 live albums. Such a beautiful discography. What about the Beatles? Hello my Beatles friends, welcome back to another video. In this video I'd like to talk about the Beatles live discography, live life. And how many actually live recordings of the Beatles do we have? After I got all the 12 Beatles albums, I wanted to have a live album, but here I saw a little problem. First of all, I'd like to talk about the one and only official Beatles album, live album, that was released in 1977, produced and handled by Beatles producer himself, George Martin. I'm talking about the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl. This is the only concert that was released officially in the Beatles catalog and the Beatles discography. It was released in 1977, but I have to admit that the recording quality of it was not the best. So in 2016, his son Giles Martin reproduced this album, and this one has 4 additional songs. That's the CD. This is the only official album released by the Beatles as a live album. But what about the others? Of course, during this video I'll be talking about a lot of bootlegs and unofficial releases which I don't have, but you can easily find them online. And online I found the CD of Beatles at Hollywood Bowl that has 2 complete shows. The both shows in their complete track listing. But that's a booklet. So here's my question. Why, since you are re-releasing this album and you have 4 bonus songs, why don't you release the entire 2 shows? I can understand the problem with the Beatles recordings is the screaming and screaming and screaming. And I'll be talking about some other albums where you can't even hear actually the voices. So this one contains 21 songs, but what's annoying me is that the songs are mixed. 65, 64. When I found that bootleg, I don't have it with me actually, I don't buy bootlegs, that it had 2 complete shows from 1964 and 1965 separately. Now I'm thinking why the Beatles didn't release it like that. I think this is the first missed opportunity, but at least it's official. The second best thing that comes to mind when talking about Beatles live performances is actually the Get Back sessions and the rooftop concert. There are 9 songs performed on the roof. And all the 9 songs are featured in this DVD. So which means the sound quality and the video footage and everything is professionally remixed and remastered by Peter Jackson. So you have those 9 songs beautifully presented. Now, there is a bootleg version of the rooftop concert, which I don't have, but there is a possibility to give us the 9 songs rooftop concert. Why not? Some of the songs from the rooftop actually ended up on the original Let It Be album, some of them on the Naked, and some of them on other officially released materials, just like quite recently, Anthology 4 features the Don't Let Me Down from the Rooftop concert, Take 1, with gibberish lyrics. So it is officially released on Beatles material, on the Beatles album, which means all 9 songs in one way or another, on one form or another, they are spread among many other different releases. So why not gather all of them together as they are on the roof, as exactly you hear it here, and release it as a live album? That would be a top seller. That would be a best seller, whatever you want to call it. And also what I would do, just like in the case of this album, there are several bonus songs. So why not add 3 bonus songs to this concert, which were performed on the next day, on the 31st of January, which are 2 of Us, Let It Be, and Long and Winding Road, beautifully complete songs, which appeared on the original Let It Be movie in 1970. but are omitted from here. They are only on the end credits, several pieces of those songs. So if you combine this movie with the original movie, you have everything. So why not release all the songs on one album and make the fans happy? So it's a second missed opportunity that we have. The third thing that I would like to talk about is the Shea Stadium from 1965. In 2016, when this album and the movie were presented, 3 nights only, there was the complete Shea Stadium concert movie played in the theaters. And naturally, people thought that it would be released on a DVD or a Blu-ray, or at least on the streaming like Disney, like Get Back. But soon after, there was a lawsuit. The copyright owners of the footage sued the Beatles or the Apple for using that footage unauthorized and so on. Which means the Beatles didn't own this material because it was broadcasted live on TV. I'm not going to get into these lawsuits, but still, we do not have this album. And once again, many bootlegs circulate. There is also a bootleg CD with DVD plus 29th August 1966, the last Beatles concert on Candlestick Park in San Francisco. That also exists. I found it somewhere on one of the record shows, one of the flea markets, but I didn't buy it because you never know what you're gonna get. Also, interesting thing that I noticed is when I was in Turin 3 months ago, in one of the vintage stores, I found an bootleg album which was red cover with the Beatles at the Shea Stadium. Naturally, I didn't get it because I don't know what it is, but this material circulates, in the world. So this is another missed opportunity. I think that the DVD and accompanying live album would be a great bestseller among fans. So this is another third missed opportunity. There are some other shows that are widely available. So the main reason why I decided to make this video is because quite recently I stumbled upon this box. And this you can buy online. This one you can buy in here in Germany, in Saturn and so many other MediaMarkt and also Amazon. I mean, this is widely available, and this is with a barcode. So it's, I've seen it several times. I've seen it also on vinyl box, and you can also buy it on eBay. I mean, everywhere. And this one contains 6 concerts. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So the first one is Australia, Festival Hall, Melbourne, 17th June 1964, National Television Network. The sound quality is here is not that good. Of course, you hear the screaming. But what's interesting here is that after the song Can't Buy Me Love is over, George Harrison announces the song This Boy, but actually it's omitted from the box here, and we go straight to Twist and Shout. Although in the liner notes for this box it says that it's restored here in the box, and it's not true. Of course, that song is also available everywhere to listen to, but it's not in this box. They performed 10 songs, but here we have 9. Then we have United Kingdom, ABC Theatre, Blackpool, 19th July 64, and 1st of August 65, ITV Network. Here on each show they performed 5 and 6 songs respectively. Then we have USA Conventional Hall, Philadelphia, 2nd September 1964, a radio broadcast. And here we have 12 songs. Then we have France, Paris, 20th June 1965, Europe First, also 12 songs. And disc 3 is Japan, Budokan Hall, Tokyo, 30th June 1966, NTV Channel 4. And this one has 11 songs. I'm gonna make a little unboxing and show you what's inside this box. And here we have the Australia and United Kingdom CD. And this is the track listing. Then we have USA and France. And by the way, this is the this tool program. And then we have the Japanese CD. And this is the booklet. Now I have to say that this is a very beautiful opener of the booklet. Nice pictures in here. And some stories. What happened during those shows and how they arrived and what happened. And what's interesting here is that here, this is the American. It's an interesting story about Japanese concerts. They arrived in Japan on 30th of June and left Japan on 3rd of July to Manila, which is a completely other story. And they performed 5 shows. I have previously shown you in my channel these 2 albums. This I bought also online here in Germany, and this one I bought on the flea market. And this one is limited to 1,000 copies. It's a yellow vinyl. But what it says here that this is a Budokan Hall, Tokyo, Japan, 30th June evening show. So this is already one of the 5 which is available. Then I have this album. I thought it was exactly the same, but then if you read here on the bottom, it says recorded live July the 2nd, 1966, which means it's already 2 out of 5 shows. And if you look here, it says Tokyo 30th, June 1966. Now this CD version is exactly the version here on the vinyl. This vinyl version includes the introduction of a host before the Beatles began singing. And in between the songs, also Beatles are introducing the song. All this is omitted from here. But if you listen to the songs, you can easily recognize that these 2 are exactly the same recordings. So which means we have already 2 shows from the 5 shows in Japan. Naturally, if you look on the internet, if you look some websites, there are some bootlegs that include 2 shows from the 1st of June. Now you can easily identify which day is which by their clothing. For example, the white suits with orange stripes are from the 1st of June, and so on. This all information is available in this booklet, which means if you analyze that, 4 out of 5 shows in Japan are available on physical media. Right now already I have 2. So why not combine those songs, those shows, and choose the best versions and release it as a separate vinyl? That would be a great, still, once again, missed opportunity. And by the way, the song If I Needed Someone, written by George Harrison, is the only Beatles song that was ever performed live on stage. So those concerts in 1966, the Japanese concerts and the San Francisco, the American tour that featured that song, that would be a very memorable release. Then I've been listening to the 5 other shows, 2 from United Kingdom, France, America, Australia. And what I notice is that naturally they are very bad quality because the screaming and that scratching is like the working engine of the airplane. But what I noticed, and it's very noticeable in the United Kingdom shows, when McCartney speaks between the songs, the sound is absolutely great. When George starts to play his guitar, the sound is great. But when John starts to sing, his microphone starts buzzing. And I was amazed. How is that possible? One side is good and the other side starts buzzing. And of course, when they start singing, the people start screaming and the sound is destroyed. So I was wondering, is that possible? Is it not possible to improve that and remove that distortion, that buzzing, and that scream, reduce it a bit, just like, if Peter Jackson could do it? So I was thinking about, improving the sound on that box and releasing in maybe one single album or a double album, containing the several shows combined together, because they are singing from 5, 6 to 10 songs maximum per concert, which means they have 20-25 minutes per show. And this booklet here, this information tells you that they were also performing for live television broadcast, and the time was very, very limited, and some songs were cut. That would be a perfect opportunity to release another, at least one decent live album. Yes, we know with the sound distortion, yes, we know with the screaming, but at least it would be a nice album to listen to. There is one more album that I do have that also could be included. This one is the Beatles pop group from Liverpool visiting Stockholm, Sweden, October 24th, 1963. This album also I bought here in Germany. What's interesting about this one is that it's very rare radio recording, limited edition, one-sided LP. So here you have 7 songs, that's it, plus introduction. Really, it is one-sided. Here you have another show that also could be included in this live box set, let's say it like that. So, right, what am I doing right now? I'm imagining this not existing Beatles live performances box set that Apple could release, including the best beats from different shows. That would be awesome. Speaking of radio shows, we know that from 1962 till 1965, Beatles appeared multiple times on the BBC, and they have 2 albums released from those sessions, BBC 1 and BBC 2. I am very, very satisfied. We do have 2 albums, and this topic for me is closed. So thank Beatles for that. Now going a bit into the past, we have 2 more albums to discuss that actually are available. These are the Decca records with Pete Best, which I also bought here in Germany with a barcode here. Here we have 15 songs, the entire Decca audition that was actually turned down. So this is once again another album that also could be used and could be re-released. Which leaves us with the last album, the Beatles live at the Star-Club Hamburg, Germany, 1962. And I know that when it was released in the late 70s or I believe 80s, I think 80s, the Beatles themselves wanted to avoid that. They were against the releasing of this one. Now, if you look at these 3, they are all different. Despite the fact that these 2 have the same cover, the track listing is completely different. The same songs circulate and they are shuffled. And this one actually has sticker here on the back. And they are on different labels. This one is on Bellephone and this one is on Epic. Now, this one is made in Germany and this is from Israel. And the track listing is shuffled. So here is another, an opportunity to stop this mess and release the definitive album live in Hamburg. Speaking of Beatles live performances and live albums, we have so many missed opportunities that it's painful to talk about it. And the fans have to be satisfied only with this one live album from Hollywood Bowl, which is 2 shows and incomplete. So if you are giving us 2 shows, at least give us both shows entirely and not shuffle between 65, 64, 65, 65 and so on. But what I am completely satisfied with is these 2 BBC albums. But there is another case. The opposite is this album. If you look closer to the cover, we see a live album. This picture was taken from the first US concert in Washington, but it says here the Beatles in Italy. And many people think that it's the Beatles live in Italy, but the picture was taken from Washington. But unfortunately, it's another misunderstanding. This is just a Beatles compilation released in Italy. And if you look inside, you have another pictures from the concert, but it's not a live performance. This is just greatest hits, just a compilation released in Italy. So it has nothing to do with the live performance, just the greatest hits. So it was another misunderstanding that made fans even more furious. But it had a very beautiful picture on the back. I'm going to listen to this box once again, try to enjoy the Beatles live and imagine how it was back then. And one little bonus for you. I have this original program from the American tour, and I wanted to show it to you if you are interested. When you're looking at those pictures, tell me, what do they remind you? For what this program was the main inspiration? I'm sure you will find the answer, and you will give me the answer in the comment section below. When you're looking at this picture, more precisely at this one, what does it remind you? For what this program was used? And also, when you look at this picture, what does it remind you? Tell me in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you understand my pain when talking about Beatles live albums. And I hope you have also your list of live performances by the Beatles that you want to see or hear, at least hear, because most of the footage is lost, unfortunately. So write me in the comment section below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.